Well, let's say the extremist. I don't name names.
Extremists. The information links or seems to lead back to sections of the military again.
When you mean section is informal guys, yes.
And what do you think is their motivation for such a terrible act?
Well, they would like to maintain status quo. They would like their own presence in the government and so forth. Because they are deprived from, let's say, offices they think they are entitled to.
I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm glad to be here and on this beautiful day, I would like to take the opportunity to ask you, who will win next year's presidential election? Wrong speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, to ensure the sustainability of our forests while still meeting our development objectives, my government has given priority to a set of policies and actions to safeguard our forests and ensure their sustainable management. I made a pledge at the G20 summit in Pittsburgh that we in Indonesia will voluntarily reduce our greenhouse gas emission by 26% from...
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, good morning, everyone. The Honorable UN Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, fellow governors and mayors, ladies and gentlemen. It's a city government has a duty to provide livable living environment for its residents. And this includes addressing climate change impact by making efforts to reduce cities' carbon emissions. Cities globally have done so by putting in place commitments and resources in establishing climate action plan and delivering actions in transportation strategies, building codes, promoting clean energy, and many, many more. So ladies and gentlemen, cities across the globe are taking bold actions. So is Jakarta. Jakarta commits to be a climate resilient city, and at the moment Jakarta is moving from car-oriented development to transit-oriented development, and Jakarta is leading in sustainable transportation and mobility transportations, and we would like to continue even further. So in these occasions, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to propose the assistance that cities needs from the UN. The UN may have a big role for supporting cities across the globe. First of all, the UN could encourage countries to acknowledge the achievements of climate actions at the city level, and that need to be calculated as part of national determined contributions of climate actions. Secondly, within the United Nations capacity, the organizations could lend a hand to foster vertical and horizontal integrations at actions and at policy levels. Lastly, toward the COP26, the United Nations could also support countries to develop comprehensive architecture and financing structure to translate the benefit that are obtained by national government in the global forum to be executed at the local level. Thank you very much.
If I may interrupt, I just would like to say that we are fully on board with your suggestions. We'll do our best with our agencies and country teams to fully support your perspective and in our global advocacy with governments to do exactly what you ask us to do in relation to your own governments.
Thank you very much. Truly appreciate.
With regard to using Bahasa as a language, we need to enrich our language to begin with. I don't know how many how many words in Malay today? How many words of Malay? The number of words in the Malay language. How many? Anyone? In Bahasa Indonesia, we have 150,000 words in Bahasa Indonesia. And I remember when I started my job as Minister of Education, at that time it was only around 90,000. So I told our team, we need to enrich our language because 90,000 is not enough. Do you know how many words in the language, in English language? 1 million. And 7,000 additional words every year. How many languages in Arabic? 12.7 million words. Okay? So when you talk about our language becoming a language of international community, you really need to do our homework, enrich our language. How do we enrich our language? Absorb local language across the archipelago. Across the archipelago. Because in many local languages, even the word falling, it can be 20 words of falling. If you fall to the front, that's different word. If you fall to the back, that's different word. If you fall because it's slippery, that's different word. And if you fall because there is a hole, it's a different word. What I'm saying is that, richness of language is important when you present it to the international community as an international language. So that is why it's important for us here in Indonesia and Malaysia to continue enriching our language so that we can stand up in the international community and presenting our language to the world. But if we haven't done our homework, wait a minute, okay?
Halo teman-teman, berjumpa bersama saya di Politik Dami ya. Kalau kita melihat hari ini ya sangat luar biasa ya. Tentunya kita berbicara soal Anies Baswedan, tokoh yang sangat inspiratif ya, tokoh yang sangat luar biasa teman-teman ya, terkait dengan bagaimana beliau menjadi capres ya 2024 yang lalu, dan kali ini ya dia akan menjadi capres lagi 2029. Namun yang menarik adalah siapa calon Anies ya, calon pendampingnya teman-teman, atau bisa dikatakan wakilnya nanti ya. Ya ini banyak sekali yang mengaitkan Anies dengan AHY. Ini sosok yang sangat jenius, sosok yang sangat pas ya untuk kontestasi Pilpres 2029 yang mendatang. Kemarin Anies menghadiri halal bihalal yang dilakukan oleh Partai Demokrat teman-teman, dan di sana Anies berjumpa dengan tokoh-tokoh nasional, AHY bahkan SBY. Dan di kesempatan kali ini Anies itu sebenarnya ingin bersilaturahmi ya. Anies ingin memberikan, mungkin ingin bertemu ya, saling memaafkan, saling meminta maaf dan sebagainya teman-teman. Namun di balik kegiatan ataupun momen silaturahmi ini, ada saja orang-orang yang kemudian ingin mencari kesalahan teman-teman ya. Mereka mengungkit bahwa Anies tidak diundang lah, Anies tidak diajak lah, ya kan. Masa ketika ada acara ya kan besar seperti itu teman, niat baik Anies dari rumah misalnya ya, ingin bersilaturahmi, ingin memberikan surprise, ingin memberikan kejutan kepada AHY bahwa tanpa diundang dia datang, dia pergi ke acara tersebut. Mungkin saja ada hal-hal yang ingin diungkapkannya, yaitu meminta maaf di momen Lebaran ini teman ya. Ingin merajuk kebersamaan lagi ya, merajuk silaturahmi dan sebagainya. Jadi hal itu tidaklah buruk, dan itu bahkan sangat-sangat baik. Harusnya ya tokoh-tokoh nasional seperti itu, teman, supaya negara kita adem ayem, supaya negara kita baik, ya kan? Dan itu yang diharapkan sebenarnya. Dan Anies sudah melakukan yang terbaik. Bagaimana menurut kalian? Kita diskusi di kolom komentar ya.